Good evening, family. Hello, everybody. This is Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar, back at it again with another live stream. Big shout outs to everybody who's already in the room. We already got several of you here. Shout outs to Michael. Shout outs to Miss Brown Sugar. Shout outs to Kimla in the building. Yes, family. It's the one and only African superstar back at it again. What's up, GBL? I see you, family. Tonight, I want to talk about this topic. Before I get into it, let me give a shout out to the customers of theafricansuperstar.com. Please, guys, I appreciate you for shopping with us. If you have not yet, please stop by www.theafricansuperstar.com. Shout out to our members only who are designated by the circle next to their name. They support this platform on a monthly basis. Big shout outs to all of you. And last but not least, those of you that have been supporting the music project. The new news as far as that is that I have been nominated for an award. The award ceremony will be the 5th of May. The category is the Best Emerging Female Vocalist in Ghana for 2023. So some of you have already cast your votes. I'm going to actually share on the community tab on Friday the tally of votes. I'm currently ONAPA. Shout out to all my Ghana folk. I'm in the comfortable lead. I'm number one as far as it goes, but we still have until the 30th of April, so anything can happen. So those of you guys that are putting in your votes, please make sure you put in your votes, and you can buy as many votes as you would like. For those of you that are in Ghana, it's 60 pesos per vote. For those of you guys that are abroad, it's probably going to be, you know, maybe 10 cents, maybe that, or 5 cents. I've had a couple people buy several hundred votes for me so far. We're currently at over 1,000 votes for the competition. So I really want to bring that award in. I need the African Superstar family to support me on this. And, you know, because guess what? Once we bring home the award, we can then accept the title award winning. Hello. So let's get together and do that. The link is here for those of you that are joining. Today, I want to talk about this topic. Because it seems to me that so many people are confused about where we should stand as a people in regards to the way forward. And I kind of want to talk about it. So the topic of this video is the Pan-African pro-Black person who also loves interracial relationships is confused and dangerous. Big shout outs, Black Beauty always. I see you there. Yes, family. So for those of you guys that may have not been aware, I posted a picture in the community tab of some non-Black, you know, family, basically a lady, a mother, and 2 children dressed in kente dresses. Okay. And we all know that kente cloth is Ghana. We know that kente is made here and it is so distinct. It's part of the Ghanaian, you know, traditions and things like that, and even just the meaning of kente. It brings all these different patterns together and colors and different Adinkra symbols, and it's meant to symbolize the community and harmony, and it's very beautiful, which is why I love kente. However, in this picture, we see basically a non-Black family dressed in the kente. So I made a comment that this is the future of Ghana unless we consciously you know what I mean? Unless we consciously make this decision. So we see here in Ghana, one of the number one reasons that people love Ghana, the number one reason that people come here is because of the hospitality, because of the safety, because of the tolerance and things like that. And that can actually be a deficit. That can actually be a drawback to our people because we're willing to put others before our own sustenance. Okay, let's break down what Pan-African and pro-Black means. Okay, Pan means for. All right, for Africa. That's what Pan-African means. Okay, that means that you are for the growth and edification of the continent and the people of the continent, which are whom? Africans. Okay, when you call yourself a Pan-African or you identify as a Pan-African, that means that you have a desire for the continent to be sustainable, to rise, to flourish, for its people to be happy and healthy and safe, and all of these things. Okay? If you are Pan-African, that means that Africa and the affairs of Africa should be your number one priority. And what we miss as Black people, because we have deeply been ingrained that having this perspective as Black people is racist, that it's non-inclusive, that it's hateful, that it's bigotry, but all the other ethnicities understand. That's why a lot of times you guys will not be welcomed in certain people's families, in certain people's countries, in certain jobs, in certain positions, in certain circles, because they want to do what? Preserve their own situation. Okay? They don't want Blacks in their country because why? They don't want them mixing in. They don't want them bringing crime. They don't want them, utilizing the government or whatever kind of stereotypes. Okay? They don't want them there because they realize that. And for all you folks that are big on the Bible told it. A little leaven ruins the whole lump. Is that right? Is that right? Is that what it says? Anybody know the Bible? A little leaven spoils the whole bunch. Or, in other words, a bad apple. Shout out to anybody in the room. First trivia question. Have you ever, seen like something moldy in your refrigerator? Like, I don't know, a loaf of bread. You see, oh, there's one loaf of bread that's spoiled, okay? Or one tomato that has mold on it or something like that. Some of us would be like, ooh, it's gotten into the whole thing, and toss it out because we don't want to have to distinguish between the good, whatever, or the bad. Others of you guys might just say, oh, I just cut that little part out of the, out of the apple or out of the potato. I know in cases of potatoes, I've even done it myself. If there's a brown spot in the potato, you just kind of cut it out of the potato. But there are other things, liquidy kind of dishes and things like that, that when you see that mold or you see that the stuff is going bad, you don't want to take any risk and you toss it out. Okay? That is how people see us. They feel like, okay, when the Blacks get here, when the Africans get here, when these people get here, it's going to spoil our whole country. Just a few of them can be dangerous. Yet we don't have the same perspective on these other people who have a history. Facts. Ansi says being Pan-Africanist means not being tribalist as well. Okay, that means you want the continent as a whole. You see, like, there's no such term as pan-diasporian, but that would be what your African superstar is. Because although I grew up in America and I've lived in the UK, my mother's from the Caribbean, and whatever, I have all these different parts of me. I represent the diaspora as a whole. You know what I mean? I'm just as much passionate about the welfare of Ghanaians as I would be any other person, because I'm like, hey guys, we got to see what it is. So Pan for Africa, that's what that means. That means that that's your priority. Okay. That means that if you had to choose between Ghana and UK, which we know what a lot of you would choose. Hello, Marie, what's up? Or if Ghana and America, or Ghana and Germany, or, Ghana and Russia, a Pan-Africanist would say, well, I'm riding with my country. I'm riding with the continent. I'm riding with the Black man. I'm riding with the Black woman. I'm riding with the Black family. I'm riding with Black business. You know what I'm saying? That's my priority. That's what I talk about. That's what I'm focused about. Okay. And the thing is, I'm going to get to the pro-Black part next. The thing is, guys, the hypocrite in you, the hypocrite in you is saying, I love Africa. I've heard this from so many continentals, for instance. Oh, I love my country. Beautiful country. Great this, great that. I love my people. Ghanaian women are beautiful. Ghanaian men are some of the most handsome men in the world. But that belief does not translate into reality, because what you actually do with your time, talent, and treasure, who you choose to marry, where you choose to live and invest, does not reflect that that is how you feel. You know, and we would call, and such are some of you guys are going to find this video hypocrites. You say you love the Black community. You say you love Africa. You say you love the Black family. And you say, hello, you say it. But if somebody looked at you on paper, if somebody looked at your CV or your resume or your damn track record, they would struggle to see how it all correlates. That's why I say the Pan-African and pro-Black person who also loves interracial relationships, hello, at the very foundation of community is family. When you are integrating with other people, okay, might I add, people that have a long history and track record of desecration against your own people and your own homeland, you are confused and dangerous. You are confused and dangerous. You will come here and say, oh, but Gina, God told me to love everyone. God says this, and you know, that stuff's in the past. If we don't even get into the past of the relationship that our people have with those people, we can talk about modern day. We can talk about police brutality in America. We can talk about systematic racism. We can talk about colonialism. We can talk about the rape of our continent. We can talk about the pedophiles that come over here and molest children under the guises of missionary work or charity work. We can talk about the elderly that come here and seduce and pay money to young men and women for sex. We can talk about the racial abuse. We can talk about the systematic way things are done. All of that stuff is as of 2023. That's not even getting into civil rights or Jim Crow or the transatlantic slave trade. Hello. Or the countless coups all across Africa. As you can see, when they're here on the continent, the number one country where their population is currently on the continent is South Africa. It's the most violent country on the continent. And guess what they did? Even though they're not indigenous to that land, guess what they did? They started occupying prime real estate. Hello. They've taken over the Cape Town area. And guess what they've done? They've pushed the local South Africans, those that are indigenous, hello, out. Okay. They cannot afford to buy any lands there and all of that stuff. They have preserved it and saved it for themselves. Guys, this is what's heading here to Ghana and other places in Africa. I can't really speak about other nations to see if this influx is happening. And I know they ain't going to Nigeria. I got to say to my Nigerians, I know they ain't going to Nigeria because they're scared to go to Nigeria. But they feel safe and sound here in Ghana. And you guys need to understand this is a real threat. People don't want to understand this because they don't want to grasp reality. They don't want to grasp the fact that there has never, ever, ever been racial harmony between our people and their people. But you know what? You know what? I know where it comes from. I know exactly where the sentiment comes from. You see, in life, there's always matched elements, okay? There's day, there's night, there's black, there's white, there's the sky, there's sea. When we look at the racial construct, there's superiority and there's inferiority. Those of our people that are deeply, deeply attached to these folks suffer from inferiority complex. Let's go ahead and break this down. What's up, you say, sir? Shout out to the family. We got over 30 of you guys. Make sure you get the likes up. Hello. Can I get a like count? It needs to be a 25 like count. What's up, family? What's up, family? Let me get a like count. Where y'all at? Hello? Hello? I'll wait. We're going to do it right tonight, guys. We're going to do it right tonight because I'm talking this topic. A lot of your favorite YouTubers won't touch it. A lot of African YouTubers won't touch it. They're too scared to talk about it. I'm talking about it. So please show your love and support for the African superstar. We'll take a commercial break while you guys get the like count together. It needs to be at 25. Hello.
You know, I have stress, guys. Like, I don't think people understand my stress. I have third world stress because I'm thinking about voting, right?
Did you know I was a rapper?
Come chill with me. Look in my eyes and tell me what you see. Together
This is one of my tracks.
Come
Chill with me. Available for download, and the official music video is on YouTube.
I make you laugh. Carefree.
This track can be purchased along with all others on bandcamp.com.
It's so hot. Another weekend.
Imagine you are a rising music star, and you decide to make a music video about your ex's lies. Well, I did.
It really racks my mind when I think about how I used to look in your eyes.
Official music video
Saw
is
passion and other lies. Can you imagine? You told me such sweet things, and I trusted your words, intent and everything.
African superstar.
Now we have become strangers, and nothing could be stranger.
All right, guys. Thank you for being on code. Yes. So the root cause of our people's obsession, some of our people's obsession with non-Black people is coming from inferiority. They deeply believe that being associated to these people is a benefit to them. They feel that they are intelligent. They feel that they are beautiful. They feel that opportunities are going to be afforded to them, and they believe that it's contingent on their relationship with these people, and that comes from inferiority. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a Black person who feels superior, and when I actually look at the dichotomy, I feel like there's nothing extraordinary about those people. And matter of fact, I don't want to integrate with them. I don't want to, ruin my bloodlines. I don't want to put that kind of chaos on my children. I don't want to be connected to them in any kind of way. I realize that the relationships that we have with them are all based on them benefiting and us, taking the back seat. And if you evaluate all the relationships that we have, from friendships to romantic to professional to national, even religious, every context, they're on the top. They're capitalizing. They're benefiting. They're getting the good life. They're getting the royalties, and we're getting scraps. If they were really moral people, if they were really good people, they would pay for the discretions of the past. They would be good individuals going forward. They would do business fairly and ethically, but that's not how they operate. And that's why I'm trying to warn you folks that their presence here, I understand that some continentals, like Isesa says, I don't think they truly understand what's happening. It's obvious they don't understand what's happening because, again, I did a video a couple weeks ago, are Black people stupid? You would have to actually assess that they were, because of history, because of everything. Our countries here on the continent are mineral rich. Let's be real, guys. Let's be real. All these deals that we have with them, they could easily say, you know what? We're tired of Africans in our nations. We want them to be self-sufficient. So let's renegotiate these contracts as far as mineral resources. We are doing a lot of the manufacturing. We are doing the advertising. We're doing the transport, but let's split it 60-40 so that these nations can have more of their own residual from their own mineral resources to develop and benefit their own nations. Long ago, there have been Pan-African leaders, real Pan-Africans, not like y'all. Hello, real Pan-Africans. All right, that said what? They had the same thing I had. They had superiority complexes. They believed, hey, the black man can manage his own affairs. The black man can run his own countries. We don't need Western intervention. We don't need aid. We don't need anything from them. We have everything that we need to be self-sufficient here. Every time one of those leaders emerges, so does the drama. Either they get assassinated, either they get a coup, a military takeover, strange deaths, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to tell you guys that this stuff is not by chance. Our focus should be our own people. There is nothing wrong with you as an African person preferring your own people. There's nothing wrong with that. It guarantees that you will be sustained in the future. You might think, oh my God, Gina, you're just so racist and everything. Listen, nature. I don't come here and casually talk about anything that I don't feel versed on. I have come to these conclusions because of nature. Shout outs to the family. I'll do shout outs after this point. I've come to this conclusion because of nature. Nature is a great example of how we ought to move, how we ought to function. Nature even gives an illustration of all, wildlife living in a certain area. But it also gives an illustration of the predator as well. Okay? In the wild, if an animal cannot defend itself, or if the animal cannot get away, really? If the animal cannot defend himself, or if the animal cannot get away, what happens to the animal? What happens to the animal in the animal kingdom? Who's got the answer? Big shout outs to the family. I'm gonna do shout outs in a minute and hear from what you guys have to say. Big shout outs. What's up? If an animal in the wild cannot defend himself or get away from a predator, what happens to that animal? Hello? Does anybody know? If the animal cannot defend himself or get away from the predator, he becomes prey. And unlike our people, the animals that are being hunted can identify the predator. Okay? They know that, oh, wow, that lion is coming over here. He's kind of looking at me. Or in the sea, it's like, ooh, that whale's coming. And the fish is like, I need to watch out. Or there's a shark, or whatever. Our people don't want to get it. A predator is a predator is a predator. As long as I've ever known anything about lions, I've known that they're carnivores. I know that they are, from the cat family, that they are hunters. Okay, they are predators. These folks that you guys idolize are predators. They're not here for your good. Okay? Our entire relationship with them has been contentious. Our entire relationship with them has been contentious. For instance, Ghanaians like peaceful living. Okay? They're very laid back kind of folks, very welcoming, very sweet and amazing. I absolutely love Ghanaians, absolutely love living here. But let me tell you something. Okay? Where I'm from, where I grew up in America. Hello. These tensions, they didn't come from our people. They came from the almighty white. Okay? That's the person who started segregation. That's the person that started apartheid. That's the person that started the slave trade. That's the person that went into foreign lands and started pillaging and stealing and conquering lands. That's who he is. That's the person that developed weapons so that he could kill. Okay, that's the person that performed medical experiments on people, you know, and all of this kind of stuff. That comes from them. That's not what our people is doing. Okay, I keep telling y'all, our people are different. Now, I would definitely give you the fact that the people, our people that have been socialized in those foreign lands, they have begun to look more and more and more and more like the predator. All right. But I'm here to tell you that our people, our indigenous innate nature is not like that. Some people will even try to bring up tribalism, but in my opinion, tribalism is nothing like what we've experienced with racism. You know, tribalism might be like, hey, we do it like this. You know what I mean? Or, you know, this is our cultural norms kind of thing. I've been living in Ghana 3 years. And I've never heard anybody getting lynched related to tribalism. I've never heard of any, you know, targeted attacks or anything like that. Police brutality. Oh, wow. You're a guy, you know, in northern Ghana, or, you know, you are a Fanti in Kumasi. And, you know, if anything, it's kind of like, you know, my people's better than your people. Our people do it better. You know, we got the better food. We got, you know, it's kind of like a, you know, this kind of thing. But when I'm talking about the racial construct, that's real hate. Okay, for you to do some of the heinous things that you regularly do, again, 2023, this is not even, we're not even getting into the far history. They are still doing these things to our people this very damn day. And you need to know, like I said, the animal in the wild, you need to know the predator. You need to know when they're around. Now, obviously, this is the big world. We all live in the world. The other ethnicities understand it. Okay, that's why when it comes down to ethnicities, they go out into the world. The Chinese go out, they travel the world, they live in England, they live in the US, same with the Japanese, same with the Spanish, same with the Australians. But one thing that they do, one thing that's critical, is they preserve their homeland for their people. They make sure, yeah, I know when I go out into the West, you know, them Saudis know, yeah, when I travel, I might deal with a little, you know, anti-Semitism, whatever. They might not like my clothes. They don't like, you know, they know. But guess what? When you go to Saudi, that's a place where Saudi people are welcome. That's a place where the Saudis is running stuff. That's a place where their norms is going to be the status quo. Okay? When you go to China, that's a place for their people. When you go to Japan, that's a place for their people. Ghanaians need to have a place for their people. Blacks around the world need a place for their own people. They will, matter of fact, Marie brought it up, they will choose their own people for marriages and business. It's called preferential treatment. They don't have the inferiority complexes that we have, where some Black people feel like white people are inherently good. That's how they feel. When they see them, they feel like, oh, they're here to do something good. That's why you hear a lot of Black people say, oh, Gina, but you can't judge a book by its cover, and they're not all bad. Where's the good? Where's the good? Because there's a lot of bad. There's a lot of bad to atone for, my friend. A lot of bad. A lot of bad. Why do you excuse the abuse of your people? Why do you come here and argue with me about why we, you know, it's okay to date? Why? What's wrong with you? Something's wrong with you. That you want to choose someone else over your own flesh and blood. Black men that talk all this stuff about Black women when your mama is a Black woman, when your sisters is Black women. Some of you even have daughters. Same thing with the Black women. Your daddy, your brothers, your uncles, your cousins. And you might say, well, you know, some of them weren't good people. And are Chinese good people? I mean, I don't know. Let me know. Are white men good people? Are white women good people? you know what they have done? For some of you guys that don't know these people, you know, for my continental viewers, you don't know them. You don't really know them because you've been living here in Africa and you have had limited experiences with them. Okay, because it's from my opinion and from my, you know, personal accounts that many continentals, once they get into the West and they start encountering it, or when they go to the Middle East, or when they go to Asia, that's when they get a concept about racism. Okay, when they sit on the train and they see people don't want to sit next to them, or when they try to date somebody and they see how the family receives them and blah, 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 or when they try to go for jobs, or when they get mistreated and blah, blah, blah. That's when they get an understanding about racism. Just go online. Google Karen. Okay? Google Karen. Karens are obnoxious white women. A lot of them are making false allegations. They've been caught on camera. They're being aggressive. They're threatening people. That side is what many of us have encountered. White men, they don't like arguing like that. They're violent. They're killers. Okay? They invented the weapon. They invented mass shooting. They invented carnage. Okay? That's their language. This is the facts about who these folks are. So when you want to come and say, oh, well, they're not all bad, and they don't all got to be bad. A lot of them is bad. A lot of them is bad. And really, it's not even a discussion about them, if I'm honest. It's not even about them. It's about us. When we look at the state of our people, our families, our industry, our homeland, we have so much to be concerned with. It's not even about them. But integrating with them should be done, if it needs to be done, very cautiously. Because it's also from my understanding that those situations are always motivated, and those situations result in them benefiting and us missing out. I broke down the Pan-African, for Africa. Pro-Black means for Black. And when you claim that these are your ideologies, when you claim this is your outlook on life, yet you have a little soft spot for Becky with the good hair. You like a little swirl. You like a little cream in your coffee. You don't understand what those words and terms mean. You don't understand, because that is a contradiction in itself. The way you conduct your home and the way you design your future is the biggest example of how you live your life. So for instance, if I say, I love Black men, okay, there's a reason that I don't swirl. Hello. There's a reason I don't date non-Black men. Is because what? I love Black men. And if I'm purely honest with you, with my superiority complex, who holds a candle? Who holds a candle to the Black man? Hello. They are superior in beauty. They are superior in physique. They are superior in athletics. They are superior in intellect. They are influential. They are impactful. Hello. When they are functioning well, they are impressive fathers, lovers, good husbands, prolific leaders. Why would I, deal with anything else? But you see, I'm not someone who has an inferiority complex. I see my people as the top of the totem pole. So there is no mixing for me. I believe that whatever I'm craving, whatever I seek is available under the demographics of my own people. That's how I feel. And that's just my perspective. But I don't have those inferiority complexes that a lot of you guys will contest. You guys will defend these predators. You'll give them the keys to the Bentley. You'll give them the plate of food. You'll give them the cheat codes for the video game. You'll give them every access necessary to dominate you and take over and destroy your whole homeland. And then you'll cry later. But look, you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, by all means, let me let you know. You can do whatever you want in this game. But guess what? As for me, I'm going to go ahead and speak this message. I'm going to go ahead and advocate on the behalf of my homeland, my people, my sisters, my brothers, the future youth. Hello. I'm going to do that because that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay. This doesn't really have anything to do with the topic, but Andrew asked about the passport bros. The passport bros are the same. They have an inferiority complex. They feel that their own women or whatever are problematic. The women that are in their vicinity are problematic, so they'll go get something else. And they'll go and then take that something else and flex it in the face of their own people or whatever, you know. But it's an inferiority complex. And it's crazy because the people with the inferiority complex don't realize that they're the laughing stock of these other people. They actually think they're a hot commodity. You know, shout out to the ladies in the room. Any ladies in the room know, you know, the brothers that tend to like to date the white ladies. A lot of times we can see them a mile away. And sometimes they're not even all that, but they think that they are. You know, they think they are that deal. Meanwhile, people are disrespecting them. They're kind of like the third wheel. They're like the token black. We can see it, but they can't see it. The passport bros are no different. You know, they're traveling to foreign countries, tricking, basically, going to red light districts. Again, they're not going for prominent, you know, wealthy women and all that stuff in these foreign countries. Because guess what? Those women wouldn't want them anyway. Those women will want their own men from their own homeland. Duh. Because all the prominent people in the world, apart from our people, okay, our people like to outsource, but the other people like to keep the wealth in. Okay, so you're not going to get a passport bro going to pull the daughter of the president in China. Okay, you're not. I don't know what the Wall Street is in Japan or the financial district. They're not going over there to Japan and getting the stockbrokers and, you know, getting the top of the, nah, they're going to the red light district, bro. They're hitting, you know, basically the night walkers. You know, the women that bank on these foreign men to make money, you know, and follow their pursuit of traveling abroad and all of those things. That's what they want to do. Because if you think those young, attractive women are into these pot-bellied, old, you know, non-fashionable, non-fit, you know, poor sexual performance, you think that those hot, you know, Latinas or whatever, those Filipino ladies are into you. Nah, they're not. They're also motivated. And that's what people with inferiority complexes need to realize. Okay? Basically, you are like a runt to whomever it is that you are getting involved with. They understand that you are kind of a reject from your own people. I know it's hard. I know this conversation is hard for you guys, but I just got to have this conversation because when I saw that picture earlier today, I got really disgusted, you know, because I can just imagine. And white people, by the time they phase out Ghanaians or Kenyans or whatever, by the time they phase out, they'll be calling themselves the real Ghanaians. You know, they'll be calling themselves the real, you know, Sierra Leone. I can't say Nigeria. Nigerians, you guys, I can't see them infiltrating your country because they know that it ain't going to pop off in Nigeria. But some of these other countries, you know, they will infiltrate because we're so welcoming, because we don't put any parameters, because we don't put any boundaries. We don't see anything wrong. We actually love it when they wear our traditional clothes. We actually love it when they come to our restaurants and, you know, we celebrate it. We think it's special. They're predators. And that's just the fact. You know, don't get mad at me. Get mad at them. Tell them to be better people. Tell them to rectify their history. Tell them to stop. That's how I know they don't give a damn, because they're still doing stuff modern day as they did in the past. Okay. Only certain, laws or certain social changes made them stop doing some of the particular things that they were doing in terms of the physical violence that they were taking out on our people. And then they just translated it into systematic. They just found another way to try to suppress us. Black Beauty, there's a picture on the community tab. It's a picture of a non-black Ghanaians. Hello. I don't know if they're mixed race or Asian or Indian. I don't know, but it's a mother and two little girls, and they're all dressed in kente cloth. And I made a statement that this is the future of Ghana if we don't take care, because if we don't preserve it, that's exactly what it's going to be. And I can't speak for all y'all, but I don't want to see them kind of Ghanaians. I'm just being honest, not en masse. I don't. There's something beautiful about melanin. There's something beautiful about chocolate. There's something beautiful about Ghanaians, about Nigerians, about Kenyans as they are. And I don't want to see that destroyed, because that's what's on the line, because that's what they do. Hello, that's what they do. Not only do they destroy ethnicities, they also destroy the earth. They destroy wildlife. Huh? Who's the ones going all the way down in the bottom of the sea? I saw a picture today. They've been putting out pictures of this fish that they found 30,000 feet down in the ocean floor. And I'm thinking, why are you guys down there? Why are you always disturbing stuff? Okay. They're still digging in Egypt. Those are people's burial grounds. Okay. They call it archaeology, but really it's an obsession. Why are you digging up burial grounds of people from yesteryear? And then trying to whitewash history when clearly it's obvious who the Egyptians were. It's not even a debate. They go to space. You know what I mean? They cut down trees. All of these things, we can't take responsibility as Africans. We're not doing those things. Okay? You don't hear about, Ethiopia trying to go invade Kenya. Military is not even a huge force here on the continent, nor has it ever been, because we just be in our space. And sometimes we might have a little beef with, a little friendly banter with another African about who's the best, whose jollof is the best, and our football teams and this kind of stuff. But it's friendly fire. It's nothing like how these folks interact. And so these are the things we should be mindful of as we see them infiltrating our lands, okay? It's not in our benefit. We have to also regroup and make sure that we're making the right decisions to sustain ourselves in the future, okay? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the way to make a Ghanaian person, is the same way you make a Black person. Black man, Black woman. Ghanaian man, Ghanaian woman. That's how the Ghanaian family exists. That's how it's always existed. That's how it's always existed. I'm not saying anything radical. I'm just saying the freaking truth. Okay? Guess what? When the Ghanaian man stops mating with the Ghanaian woman, guess what stops? Who's got the answer? When the Ghanaian man stops mating with the Ghanaian woman, what stops happening? When the Ghanaian woman stops mating with the Ghanaian man? When the Nigerian man stops mating with the Nigerian woman? Huh? I mean, and you can negate, you can feel emotional, because I know a lot of you swirlers and a lot of you guys that have inferiority complexes, you will fight to the hilt for your right to integrate with the predators. You want to be eaten, okay? You want to be the next victim. You want to be obsolete, all right? So you come here to my channel and you're going to be like, no, Gina, it's not true. Just answer the question. It's very simple. When the Ghanaian man stops mating with the Ghanaian woman, what's gone? Even second tier to that is the Ghanaian man who's still dating with another Black woman. That still produces a Black person. That still produces an African. All right. Anything else outside of that spectrum, despite how you feel and your emotional, blah, 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 it is what it is. Everybody else knows it. Okay? Everybody else in the whole wide world knows it. That's why other people protect their ethnicities. Okay? The Jewish people, the Asian people. You know, that's what, because they understand, okay, as soon as our men stop mating with our women, that spells the end. Thank you, Janelle, for that super chat. You're the first in this group of 50 something, huh? Y'all let her come in late and she still took it over. Big shout outs to the family. Paula says, I love my black men and my people. Black beauty, she said it simply. The Ghanaian family will be lost. That's what it is. And the problem is we don't look at this in a comprehensive thing. We say, well, if I decide to swirl, that's not the end. That's not the end of our people, Gina. If I do it, that's just me, and you know, it's not the end. Well, if a sizable amount of people take your piss poor attitude to the future of our people, this is what will happen. The Ghanaian family will be lost. The African will be gone. You think it can't happen? It can easily happen. Look at how they behave in South Africa. Look at what they've done in America. And all kind of other indigenous populations all around the world. They have eradicated them. They've killed them with disease. They've pushed them far, you know, into lands that are not desirable. Like they have some Native American people on reservations in the U.S. They've got, you know, places for the indigenous Australians. Crazy. You know what I mean? Even in Kenya, they want to get rid of the national park where the Maasai tribe lives, you know, I believe like Serengeti, you know, forgive me if I'm not saying it correctly. But the Maasai used to have lots of land in Kenya for their lifestyle and their wildlife and all of that stuff. And they keep encroaching on their borders, trying to take more and more of their land. That is how they do. That's what they do. So I would say if you classify yourself as a Pan-African, then you should understand why mating and perpetuating your own people and culture is important. If you call yourself a pro-Black, some of you guys also use those terms and then you're racist to other Black groups. Oh, those Caribbeans. Oh, those Black Americans. Oh, those Nigerians. Oh, those Kenyans. Oh, those, you know, North Africans. Even though there's, you know, struggles with the North Africans. You're not for real. Okay? If you use those terms and you don't actually exemplify it in your life, you're not for real. You're not for real. If you can't set aside your differences for the greater good, you're not for real. You're a fake. And you deserve to become the prey of the predator. I don't feel sorry when I see these stories like that dude recently on the Creed movie that got the false allegation from the white girl. I don't feel bad for him, if I'm honest. I don't feel bad for him because there's been so many of his brothers that have gone before him that have gone in the same situation and had the same kind of outcomes, and they keep doing it. So if you put yourself in the lion's den, so to speak, all right, and you become prey, he eats you up, you know, makes false allegations, lies against you, defamation of character, ruins your life, you know, takes all your money, then I don't feel sorry for you. I mean, again, we'd have to deduce you're stupid, you know, and you had it coming. I mean, I know it's not right, but they say it all the time. When women go out and they're dressed very provocatively, or they get really drunk and men take advantage of them or maybe rape them, sometimes people say, well, you know, look at how she was wearing. Look what she was wearing. Look where she was at. Look what she was doing. You know, then they examine her character and see if this is how she always conducts herself. When you put yourself in harm's way, guys. So in other words, we leave the continent wide open for these folks, huh? All in the name of integration and diversity, which is not working in the West. Hello. It's not working in the West. It's never worked. We say, oh, well, we want them to come because when they come, they're going to bring development and they're going to put the infrastructure in and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. Okay. When they come, And they do what they have always done. All right. And then we get the fallout of it all. I don't feel sorry. You know, the only way to not become a victim is prevention and avoiding precarious situations. The very fact that we even trust them after the things that we know that they are capable of is concerning. You know, Black women know for a fact white men used to rape Black women, Black children, rape them. And now we give it up. We just get with it. We actually pursue them. There's some ladies that pursue them. You know, a mixed race child was like considered some kind of way. You know, a half breed, as they were called. There's so many derogatory names for those children. And we know that they struggle in many ways. You know, anyone who has mixed heritage or mixed race will tell you that it can become very challenging for them to identify, to be accepted, to be understood, you know, and all of these kind of complex things. We deliberately put that on them, acting as if it is a badge of honor, acting as if it's going to help them get preferential treat, when in most settings, they are still seen as Black, even if they don't see themselves. When it's negative, they're seen as Black. You know, when they do something positive, then the other side takes claim. I saw this all the time in the UK. You know, if you know, a British Ghanaian did something, you know, remarkable, got an honor, you know, won something at the Olympics, or, you know, footballer, then it was British Ghanaian. But if they got in trouble or got arrested or had allegations, it was Ghanaian immigrant, migrant, you know, British born, Ghanaian descent, you know, these kind of topics in the newspaper. You see? So we need to be real about what is in front of us, because history certainly repeats itself. You know, all I'm asking you guys is to just prioritize your own people. And I don't feel like that is just, you know, something derogatory. I don't understand why our people don't get it. You know, how can me saying, hey, Ghana, make sure that Ghanaians are always welcome in your homeland. Make sure you guys exist in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Okay? Preserve your own businesses. Preserve your own family. Okay? Integrating, a lot of times you lose a lot of that. For any Ghanaians in the room, I bring up Achu. Okay? Christian Achu, he's a footballer. Some of you guys have, you know, heard of him. He recently passed away in the Turkish earthquake. Okay, now Christian Achu was married to a white German woman, and he has 3 mixed race kids who are living in the UK. All right, now Christian Achu is quite prominent here in Ghana. He was doing a lot of charity work. He donated to a lot of causes and helped a lot of people, funded a lot of things here. It's very, very, very safe to say that those programs will not continue under his wife's management. His children are not being raised here in Ghana. And I don't know how much influence his family is even having with the children, because they're living in the UK and his family is based here in Ghana. Prime example. This is an illustration of when you do not marry within your community. His fortune now is going to go to that German white woman and his mixed race kids who are living in Europe. You know, his projects here and everything in Ghana, it's over. You know, there is a higher probability that if he was, you know, had kept his wealth within his family, within his community, some of those things may have been able to continue to function. But because he outsourced it, you know. So this conversation was food for thought. I didn't get a chance to get into all the shout outs today. Sorry guys, because this topic is so rich, and some of our people are so dumb that it requires me to have to kind of break it down, because I don't understand how you guys don't understand the relevance of this. Thank you so much, Ms. Dickerson. I see you there. Thank you so much for your super chat. Big shout out to the family that's showing physical, tangible support on the channel. I appreciate you guys. Also, I need your votes. So I got over 60 of you guys. I hope you guys can go and click this link and vote for my nomination. I was nominated for Best Emerging Female Vocalist here in Ghana 2023. I'm bringing home the award. Yes. The award ceremony is on the 5th of May. Yes, I talked to my tailor today. I'm about to get my award dress. Hello. Yes. Red carpet. Yes. Can you say award winning? Hello. So I need the African Superstar family to assist with that and put your votes in. For those of you that are in Ghana, it's 60 pesos per vote. And for those of you guys that are in the international community, I tried to look for the conversion, but they don't really convert the coins. A peso is the coins here in Ghana. So it might be something like 5 or 10 cents per vote. I had, again, a very good friend of mine, Dr. Lincoln. He bought me 500 votes the other day. And several of you guys, I know you have been voting because I've seen the numbers going up. We're currently over 1,000 votes. Hello, and I'm #1 in the running so far, but the votes are till the 30th of April. So we still have 25 more days. Hello. Let me see something. Let me see what's going on here. Well, I mean, we would have to deduce that people don't, either they don't know what's going on, or they don't care, or because logically, when we look at, again, the interactions between our people and their people, I don't know if you are actually here on the continent, if you've ever traveled, if you've ever lived abroad. A lot of people that are here on the continent, they don't really understand the diaspora when we talk about this racial construct, but it's real. Okay, the fact that people continually talk about it indicates the realness of it. People from all over the diaspora can talk about racial encounters. People from Australia, people from Canada, people from Europe, you know what I mean? Germany, UK, America, anywhere they are. We see them here on the continent, en masse in one particular country, South Africa, racial problems down there. All right. And our people that crave them so much have an inferiority complex. They actually believe that white people are inherently good, although they are inherently bad, inherently racist, inherently violent. That is their history. But we like to excuse it and say, no, no, no. And then we also have, obviously, the religious brainwashing, because Jesus has been in this image as a white man. I believe many people see that whiteness as holy, as pure, and obviously the white people are in the likeness of Jesus. And because also people here on the continent are not interacting with them on a regular basis, so they don't know their nature. I mean, we would have to deduce that something is wrong. Even white people have made comments and says, if I was a black person, I would be mad as hell. If I was a black person, I'll be doing this, I'll be doing that. I don't understand how you people just ignore. White people have even said that. They don't understand how we just let them off the hook. They don't understand how we keep tolerating them. They don't understand how we just excuse their bad behavior. And on my platform, I don't excuse their bad behavior. I'm pro-black, Pan-African, black first. I don't have no space to accommodate diversity and inclusion on this platform. I'm not for it. And if you're someone who's for it, then being on my platform will be frustrating for you, because I don't excuse it. I don't excuse it. And I believe that your ideology should be reflected in your example. I I believe probably if I showed up with a white man at the end of the day after this whole exercise, I would lose a lot of validity on my channel. I would receive a lot of clapback from all of y'all because y'all would say, oh, but Gina, you say this and you say that and you're named the African superstar. You moved to Ghana and you know. But it's okay for you guys to be fake. Shoshana says, after dealing with the cruel world outside, to come home to outsiders sounds exhausting. Woo, girl. It's not for me, but I'm not against what anyone else wants to do. Listen, the main point of this message, let me wrap it up because we're over an hour here now. The main point of this message, guys, don't get it twisted. We need our place of refuge here on the continent. There are some of us that only want to be in our communities, that love our Black men and women, that want our children raised a certain way. We don't want to deal with racism. We don't want to deal with any of that stuff. We need the right to have our refuge in the continent. Okay? We can go out to the West and understand that we might have to temporarily go through things or experience things or whatever, but to have that solace to say, I can get away from here. I can leave this behind and have peace and security. That's what we are standing for. You know, because like Shoshana said, fighting the outside world sometimes, and then you come home and you also have it in your house. You also have it in your homeland. You know, it's exhausting. So let's do well and make the right decisions, guys. Brown coat blue. I asked them why they choose to ignore others' obvious patterns. Because they have inferiority complexes. They think they're worthless. They think they're useless. And they you know, to get the attention of these people is something very valuable to them. Okay? And that inferiority complex is deep, deep, deep inside of them. And it's unfortunate, you know, because it's like an elephant hanging out with a raccoon. And they think the raccoon is special. And the raccoon's looking at the elephant like, man, you're huge. You know what I mean? Like, you could step on me if you wanted to. But yet you're trying to, all you talk about, oh my God, my trunk is so long and I have these tusks and, you know, I'm so big and, you know, it's not nice. I wish I was a raccoon like you and I could just be like a rodent and, you know, so and I would say to those of you guys that have young children out there, seriously, this is my last point. To you guys that have young children, it is so vital that you instill confidence in them to prevent these inferiority complexes. Okay, because people that have these inferiority complexes, it becomes like kind of like a perpetual problem in their life, because you would just see them through their whole life from childhood into adulthood, just pining for the validation of these people. You know, I think kind of like Kanye West is an example. Kanye West is brilliant. He's very talented. He's super creative, but he's depending on the validation of these non-Black people and people around him saying to him, you know, there's a popular interview by a journalist named Sway. And Sway had a conversation with Kanye West before he did his Yeezy collection and all that stuff. And he told him, hey, man, why don't you just do your own clothing line? Why don't you just do your own thing? But Kanye was dead set on having these partnerships with Adidas and having these partnerships with Balenciaga. And we see how it's all played out. Because at the end of the day, you guys don't need them. You don't need them. I promise you. You can survive and live without them. Yes. There is a way. There is a way. But the only way is if you actually advocate on your behalf. For some of us, as we're raised, we are always in a position of being dependent on them. Okay? You live in the West. They have the jobs. You know, you got to go to the bank. You got to do this. You always got to go through them. We have an opportunity here on the continent to do things for ourselves. You know what I mean? We have a position to create for ourselves, you know, and we should take advantage of that. Because otherwise, when you eat from the hand, when somebody's always feeding you, that person doesn't respect you, and you're subject to the rules of that person to continue eating. You can only have control in a situation when you're the one who provides for yourself, when you're the one that generates your food, when you're the one that generates your livelihood or your money or whatever. That's when you can talk. When I used to work and live in the UK, I couldn't talk like this. I couldn't talk like this. And matter of fact, when even as moderate as I was at the period when I was working, they still found that offensive and then sacked me from my job because of my opinion. So I realized, I said, you know, I can never be free in these settings, which is true. I'm going to the motherland and go do my own thing. And here we are. So make sure you vote for me. Make sure you get the votes in, because I'm out here doing my own thing. Okay? I'm out here doing my own thing. And you can too. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Again, I'm sorry I could not do shout outs today because I was caught up on this topic. It's rich. There's a lot to cover. So please, guys, make sure that you like the stream, subscribe, and all of that stuff. Make sure you vote. You can, you know, share this video if you're so inclined. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.